Join the freeways in LA. All right. Did it say we're recording? Okay, so good crowd. Norman is actually helping the judge's judge next door for a minute, and then he'll be here.
I'm back.
Talk. Oh, there you are.
I just pooped my.
All right, he can do everything. So thank you to Norman for getting here. I'm going to run through the announcements very quickly. But for those that aren't aware, so Mitch, our vice president, actually had a career move that quickly required his relocation to Southern California. So he is now virtual. Derek has kindly agreed to step up and take this on in the next season, and we're working on learning the role as we go. So he's helping out as vice president. At the last board meeting, not only did we go through that, we updated, so the board elections for next year are the month of May. So we have a full slate of candidates, but right up until the meeting, anybody, if you want to throw your hat in the ring, can do it. But at least we have like all the, a list of people willing to be served for next year. So that's on the website, it's in the newsletter, and I have a slide I think here. So yes, you'll see Derek moved up with Fred, vice president, and Eugen are going to continue on as secretary and treasurer. And then Alan Yep, who, if you haven't met Alan, he's in the back there. So Alan is stepping onto the board. Jeff and Stuart are continuing, and Rhiannon, who's not here in person tonight, is our newsletter editor who attends all the meetings anyway, but is now going to be a voting member of the board. So she threw her hat in the ring. So we have a very nice board, and then Faye is the past president. So she would, current president, she would then serve on the board as the past president. And if she needs to travel, I've offered to be her backup if needed. So this will have a full group. But we always welcome, any member can come to any board meeting, speak up, and if you want to put your hat in the ring, it's an open election on May 7th at the beginning of the meeting. At the last board meeting, there was some discussion or show committee meeting that the graphics and advertising people wanted to start earlier on working on the graphics for POE, so we kicked off a theme contest. If you didn't know, there's a QR code, you can use your phone, and you can go in and start compete in the POE 2025 theme contest and enter your email at least and all your ideas for themes. They're going to meet next month, this coming Monday, April 8th. I don't know if there's a physical place for the meeting yet, but it'll definitely be virtual. There might be a pre-meeting.
Have you guys picked out a date?
For POE? Yes, it's going to be. It's not there. I'll have it later. I forgot. It's it's the week after President's Day because they have trouble with FedEx and everything on President's Day weekend. It screws up all the foreign vendors. So we were originally going to do it that weekend, around that weekend, but yeah, we got
So you're talking
suggestions.
21st, 22nd, 23rd,
I think it's the one after that.
then we're going into March.
Yeah, that's one. It goes across the end of February into March. Yeah. Yeah, because of the President's Day thing, and screw around with it. All right, we want to welcome new members. So if any of you are here, speak up online or in person, welcome. We've had lots of new members, and it's ask questions if you have any questions about how we do things. Let's go to the next slide. So the roster, we announced this last meeting, but every member's name is there, but until you opt in to have your contact info, email or phone, or where you like area where you live, so people can connect with folks to carpool or whatever. It just has your name. So let Heidi at the membership check in up front, or by email, and let her know if you want your other information. Next. slide. Judging is ongoing next door. It's at the usual times, the 2 different judging centers in the area. Same as always. Next slide. This is Norman's intro slide, but I'm going to come back to this in just a minute. Is there anything else? Any other announcements? Dan.
The San Francisco Orchid Society and the Old Coast Dating Society are having our show sale at the end of April, 27th to 28th at the San Francisco Orchid Center.
Free admission.
Thanks, Dan. So for folks that don't know, Dan Dance is the president of the Peninsula Orchid Society. Any other announcements before? So Norman has a lot of travel stuff to do, and he's going to be leaving right after the talk. So if you want to talk to him or questions, right after the talk, maybe he'll hang around maybe for a minute or two, but then he's going to move out again. So if you have pre-orders, there's 2 people I saw, Marsha, I'm sorry, and there was one other person, Joan. There's Joan. Joan and Marsha, find Norman to get your plants. He has them in a box under the table separated out for you. All right, and he brought us a very nice plant table for the opportunity table, which we'll do those raffles at the end. So buy raffle tickets. We will do show and tell after Norman's talk. So we'll do online first, and Heidi help put those slides together, and Derek and I will work on doing show and tell online and in the room. And if anyone wants to join in and help out with anything, speak up. So we're just doing this to keep it rolling. We were shorthanded with it today. So it is 7:15, so not too bad. And so I'm not going to read everything, but for those that don't know Norman, he's best known for his Phalaenopsis, but he does more than that. He's going to talk to us about new colored forms of Phalaenopsis species. He's got a load of credentials starting from his early background. He advertises he got in early to the website. You know, his website is easy to remember. It's orchids.com. Norman's Orchids, based out of LA. He doesn't come up here, but except to do talks. But you would often see him at the Santa Barbara show and other shows. And if you go down,
I used to be a vendor here when we had a Fort Mason.
Yeah, we got too small. But we always welcome. It's always welcome to see Norman here. He's also been traveling to Asia a lot. He's been importing Taiwanese orchids. He'll be talking about a lot of new stuff coming up and things that are, I guess, either on the sale or coming up soon. I don't know if they're on the table yet. But I have nothing else to add other than we really appreciate him coming up and Norman Fang.
Okay, thank you.
And then this is where the microphone is. So you can kind of.
This is me coming.
So folks online, let us know if you can't hear it, okay?
Okay, this is the 7th update. I first began this program when I was asked by the Orchid Digest to do a program for the Speakers Day. So this one is actually the one I presented last August at the Penang Orchid Society show. Malaysia, which is very, very special because a lot of what we talk about today is actually from that regional country. So next. Okay. Malaysia here. Next.
Derek, the slides aren't being shared on Zoom.
Excuse me?
The slides aren't being shared on Zoom.
Thanks, Mitch.
Are you okay? Hi, Mitch.
Hi, Norman.
How are you?
Is it working now?
Wish I could be there in person.
I will see you down south.
Will do. We can
Okay.
see it now.
Good. How many of you have raised novelty Phalaenopsis species? Bellina, Violacea, and Borealis. Okay, this is actually where they come from, especially Bellina and Violacea. And that is, so I was at the Penang, Georgetown. Next. So, and this is the island of the Phalaen, this island of the Phalaen, or the Malay, Phalaen area. And it is, this is actually the new big hub computer manufactured in Southeast Asia now. Okay, next. Next, okay. Oh. Wrong focus. Can we update it a little bit?
Is that a family trip?
It was a Phalaen orchid show.
It's a beautiful building.
And one is like, that looks different. Actually, I have a very full lunch, dinner earlier.
Great picture.
Yeah.
We can do another talk later. Yeah, I was invited to speak at the Phalaen International Show last August. And it was a treat. And so I presented that at the Phalaen Garden. And also judging the show itself is a treat. Because a lot of the Phalaenopsis, the novelty is from that region. And in middle of August, I see these symbiotic Vanda, which enjoys. Okay, how about the new part of?
Because I have to import it to Google to get it. It's not the other
Another
disc.
one. It's only stick right?
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one you gave us.
He
right?
gave me
Okay.
this one.
Okay, try that
Oh.
for the second one.
Let's see the other one.
Too many stick. So thank you for coming back here again. I was here in 2018. And so I actually have the San Francisco show and the society gave me a very good early kick. When I was to do my first, we actually started the San Francisco show when the San Francisco show was first moved from here to the Fort Mason. That was a long time ago. And it was Tom Brady of the Golden Gate Orchid invited me. So, and I had nothing to expect of the show is Fort Mason. So I walk into the room that day, and I said, Tom, you gotta be kidding, because there's a roof is broken glasses, and I walk in there from being from Southern California, it's like a freezing temperature. So, but it was a very beginning. So we actually, I was very, very proud to be part of the show. Those were the days when the Rob McClellan in South San Francisco still in business, remember? And so a lot of memory when I was doing here. Okay. Do we find it?
Yeah. So it's this one.
Oh, do you have a new cover?
It's the name of the.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's do this one.
All right, Alan, can you shut the lights off? John.
See, I told you something wrong today. Okay, so this is the show that I was invited to, okay? Next. This is my company, Norman's Orchid. I established the company in 1986 when I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona. Next. So this is a program. I first developed this program back in 2018. So now we are on the 7th edition. Okay, next. So the talk is to identify the new Phalaenopsis species. There's lots of Phalaenopsis new species. Now, they don't look everything the same. Even when I started in the 80s in Southern California. Next. The new color form. Next. And a discussion of some of the potential development, which is actually is ING right now for breeding. Okay. So this is what we're going to talk about today. No, actually, it's very fast. It's actually very nice review if you're just interested in orchid to begin with. Next, let's start with A. So the question is, okay, the most of us now we're familiar with Phalaenopsis from the Trader Joe, and they all the same, the big standard one. And we thought we've seen everything from the 80 to the 2000. So where they're coming from? Next is from the new color form is actually, first of all, we actually get into a lot of these new area. It's good news and bad news. The good news is we got all this new color form, but that's at the cost of, like in Malaysia, because the demand for durian fruit, the exotic fruit, durian fruit, they want to export to China. So they cut it into lots of virgin jungle. That's how we got it from. Indonesia, they want more oil palm for the oil palm oil. That's where we get all the species. Because up until 2000, about 10 years ago, we thought we'd seen everything. Okay. But that's how we get to see all this new color from coming in. And then the second thing is by the new breeding. There's a renewed interest in conservation effort for especially on the Phalaenopsis part. So the more you breed, the more opportunity for mutation, the new color form. Okay, next. And the mutation. Okay, that's one of my background. I do tissue culture, plant tissue culture a lot back in the 80s, but at UC Riverside. So in tissue culture, you're gonna have mutation. It's part of nature. Okay, so that's how you get a new color form. Next. So we start with the A. Okay, Amabilis. Okay. This is Amabilis. If you're from Philippines, Amabilis of Phalaenopsis. These are the two species in the background of all the big standard white we have today. The reason I put this up here because we all, even though there's no new color form, yeah, but there's a Amabilis formosana. This has now been changed now. So I need to update my slide again. This is now recognized by the Royal Horticultural Society at England, at Kew, as a new genus now called Phalaenopsis formosana. Okay, and they are actually a new pure arbor form. There's no yellow in the lip of this species here. Okay, next. Phalaenopsis is another form of Amabilis of the white-footed species. Next. Okay, so this is the Phalaenopsis. Most of the Phalaenopsis is from the Philippine Islands. When I say islands, in the old days, in the 80s, when they imported or export to the United States, they always say Philippines. But if you've been to Philippines, there's a lot of island, right? So there's an effort in Asia to try to identify which island of the Philippines. Next. So this is the Formosa form, and this is the wild form from Taiwan. So this is the one is called, it's going to be changed to we're going to change our label now, called Phalaenopsis formosa. Okay, there's as many Phalaenopsis been produced from Taiwan. There's only 2 species is native in Taiwan. Majority of them are from Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, in Malaysia. And some part of China or North, but that's different, that's the minor one. And so this is actually my first analysis when I was a kid growing up in Taiwan back in the 60s. And in those days, these are they just collect from the wild, from the tree. There is no tissue culture, artificial propagated yet. So if you look at this, the picture, most of the Aphrodite's from the Philippines, they have dark, longer leaves. This is one of the reasons that actually IHS and the Q are actually going to separate them again. They used to call Amabilis variety Formosana. And then Christensen changed to Aphrodite variety Formosana. But now the newest and latest is Formosa. Okay. The leaf and the small flower. These are what we call the 2N diploid form. This is what you find in the wild. Okay. Most of they are what we call tetrapod form of a species. But I always like the wild form because that's where they have more flower. And the nice thing about this area here, of all the Aphrodites or Amabilis, this is the one can do well in in Bay Area. They are okay to down to 55 for up to 2 weeks. Okay, next. Bolina. Okay, in the 80s, Bolina used to call Violaceae, right? But now it's everything got changed. Okay, so the all Violaceae variety Borneo that we used to familiar with is now called Bolina. Okay, so Bolina is one species is coming back in fashion again. In fact, this one here have Bolina in the background, and you should smell it. Fragrance. Okay, so the Bolina is actually from Malaysia, and this is what you will never find this at Trader Joe. I'm sorry, because it's slow grower, and they will not travel well in the cool truck. Okay. Imagine right now in Penang, Malaysia, it's almost 100 degrees. It's 95 Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is and they're very slow grower, but this is something that is worth growing because everybody will grow this now. Under light, you don't need a greenhouse. A lot of my customers during the COVID, especially the younger generation, they go under light. And the new LED light is actually phenomenal. Not the type of cool fluorescent light I have back when I was in high school. It just keep the plant alive, green, but it will not give you flower. So, Bolina, if you like flower, or if you need something to flower in the summertime, get them. And they are sequential flower. That means you don't cut out the spike because they give you more and more flower. The older spike can flower along with the new spike. Next. So there's a lot of new colorful now. So this is Borneo. This is from the Borneo part of the Malaysia. You also have the Sururia form. And this is what we call, I'm actually very proud to reintroduce this wild form into the United States. Because back in the 80s, the judges, I'm part of the guilty, the judges system in America, AOS, American Orchid Society, they want big, round, and fat. Okay, so everything was they told the collector, this is what we want. And God, thank you. And they let all this wild form, the star shape in the jungle. And this is why, but this is actually very, very popular in Asia because they call it a resting form in Chinese character. I mean, fire. I mean, good fortune. Okay. And you notice that that's one of the characteristics of Bolina is the short spikes. So this is actually perfect for under light or windowsill. Next. Your big Bolina and also have alba form. Alba form being albinistic, they actually half of the size of the regular one. And they're pure white to green. Next. And there's two styles of Phalaenopsis being hybridized in America. This is my strain. Okay, if you look at a good friend of mine, Frank Smith, if you look at his FCC Phalaenopsis, okay, this is why sometimes the picture when you buy orchid, they always show you one picture, right? You don't know how big the size. Well, the 4M form from Frank Smith, Precious Heart, he had all the space because he didn't need greenhouse in Orlando. So, but the flower, the leaf is this big. I can't have that because I hate it built. Okay, so this is why I start breeding using the wild form because the wild form is not as big. What happened in the 80s? Okay, because the society, the society, we back imposed at the end of 70 and early 80. So we don't get the new species anymore. So a lot of what happened in USA here is all the inbreeding, and they want the bigger and round flower for a wall. So they become a very narrow tunnel. So by reintroduced to the species, I not only can flower, this is my hand, I have a small hand, I can have 2 plants as a first bloom in a small pot. So that's the kind of new direction in breeding, because we're not going to repeat what had been done before, but we are going to reintroduce something more for the current. People have less space, right? And then people have, I don't have, in the old days, people have a bigger house, big yard, but everything is smaller now. Okay, so this is the new trend. Okay, next. So the one we call the wild strain is called the Motomoria. It's not important if you're only interested in species, but this is actually the last document in the American Orchid Society Johnson system in 1977 at Dallas, Texas. After that, we never see this again. But now I was able to reintroduce to USA. Okay, so this is my next. You as a customer is so nice, so lucky to grow orchid now. Okay, so this is the Phalaenopsis, the jungle strand and the wild strand. So this is actually what we call the new wild strand. It's fun. It's really fun. Okay, next. This is what we call the new. Sometimes we're not sure it's stable. Sometimes we try to self it, somebody don't take. But by selfing it, sometimes you might get wild, not only mutation, but different, not just new color form, but also flower form. It happened a lot in daffodil, sometimes. Okay, but this is all the wild strain. You would probably never get awarded in American Orchid Society over here. Next. Okay, so this is the Cerurea form. Okay, but this is a Phalaenopsis. This is what I say. I love growing this because when the regular standard Phalaenopsis, but when you Phalaenopsis is finished at the end of spring, this type kick in. Okay. And I will just go for the fragrance alone. Next. Phalaenopsis. Next, another wonderful species from the Philippines. Okay, look at this. Next, and Phalaenopsis, this is the only species of Phalaenopsis that have circular form. It's almost like a pentas shape, right? And better yet, it has very good leaf, and it's a miniature species too, by the way. And this is a new color form, a yellow form. And this is actually from a population of a seed population over maybe a couple hundred plants. But the seed was collected and sent to me from the Philippines. But I still don't know which island yet. But And anyway, but this is why we need to get the gene pool. Okay, this is why I have connections in Asia. Okay, next. Cornicery, next. Okay, the typical cornicery is the yellow form. This is actually from south of Bangkok. You know how hot in Bangkok is. This is a mature plant. And this is the one orchid. If you go on vacation for 3 weeks and no water, they're okay. This is the leaf, almost as succulent, very thick. And they can take 40 Celsius, no problem. Okay, so this is the Chardonnay, the red colorful. Okay, next. Equestris. Next, another wonderful species from the Philippines. This is the Formosa form. So this is the second species actually native to Taiwan, but it's not in the main Taiwan island. It's off the shore called Orchid Island. So the theory is, the way Taiwan is situated is actually north of the Philippines. So this is actually probably brought up 100 a mile by typhoon or hurricane from the Philippine island and go into the Orchid Island, and it become geographic isolate and it become a new color form. And this is very, very, very chartreuse, very contrasting the lip. It's totally different than the one from the Philippines. But it probably takes about 2-3 million years to develop that. Next, Equestris. So this is all from the Philippines. Okay, Equestris is also a very important species. Anytime you see all this miniature, I bought a lot of miniature. And I can tell you, they all have Equestris in the background. Okay, so Equestris is one wonderful species to have if you like to collect them. And next, and Equestris, if you see Equestris, this is also the one species that will give you the poroid form in Phalaenopsis. And this is the very, very rare strain. It's actually line breeding in Japan. Okay, it's kind of interesting, but we all had import from Japan every 3 years. Yeah, and this is one species is Mr. Tanaka probably have a very, very secret way of doing it. Maybe the right night of the moon. But every 3 years, we can always get the seeding from him. But this is the orange color form of the Equestris. Next. So this is what the example I said with the new interesting line breeding, you can create a new color form. So this is, sorry, I don't have this one, but this is naturally poroid form. Okay, and alba form. Next. And this is actually from California. There's a nursery, it was not in recent, remember Orchid Dome? Who remember Orchid Dome? Okay, this is Terry Root's strand. Okay, it's probably tetrapod. It's a wonderful species for breeding, but it's a very tough species to grow because it's a tetrapod form. They don't have a very good root system. But if you let it grow this what we call the dark color form, it's better to mount it rather in the pot. Okay, next. Okay, this is another food. Roof cerulean form is always up. This is actually naturally occur in the population from the alba strain. Okay, so this is the blue color form. The bronze medal from TOGA, Taiwan Orchid Growers Association. Next. Again, the 4N orchid zone strength and naturally poroid. But this is sterile because there's no pollen cap at all. By something to look at. A lot of time they have, it's hard to propagate it. The only way you can propagate it from the shoot tip of the stem or to get picky from it. Next. Gigantea, okay. Ooh, I got the name Gigantea because it only in the wild of Indonesia's jungle where it's hot during the day and hot at night. I mean, when I say hot at night, it's still 85 degrees at night. They will get a leaf Not big. Next. Okay, I have two color blue. This is one from Sumatra and one from Samba Island. Which one of you like to have this one? Just judging the leaf. Do you like the leaf, the fatter and sugar leaf, or this one? Okay. Okay, or Samba, right? I will, at first glance, people will want to buy the shoulder and fatter leaf, right? Prettier, right? Next, when they do flower, the one with the longer leaf actually have give you better color of the Jacantia. Okay, so this is actually the one with the short and fatter leaf. Actually give you lighter color. Okay, next. This is my hand. So this is actually, this is a in Taiwan by Jumbo Orchid. And all this are originally exported to Taiwan about 30, 40 years ago from the original Jumbo plant. Okay, so this is how the flowers like come out. Next. So the last time I was here, my topic was development of the Harlequin Phalaenopsis. And any of the Harlequin Phalaenopsis, like this time, some of the big flower and the big branches, Harlequin, all have Gigantea in the background. The nice thing about Gigantea, okay, they look big, but it's recessive in breeding. They pass on the color and the flower shape, but it's recessive in the size. So that's good. All right, next. Wow, so this is actually created a sensation about 6 years ago. Okay, so this is the first one that we see. Okay, we thought we see everything. The Gigantea is more colorful. Then you have the alba strip from Dawei, Mr. Tsai. And there's an interesting story on this one here. At one point, it was offered like $6 million NT. So that's about $300,000 for one plant. He wouldn't sell it. But the next step, the logical plan for him is to self-it because I would not even pay $300,000 for one because in the trouble with alba, it might when you self-it, it might not be a true alba, right? So what's interesting enough is when he self the alba. Okay, so these are all original pair. About 4 years later, next. Okay, so this is the original plant. And the seeding actually turned out to be really, the selfing of this one here turned out to be robust grower. So everybody was anxious to see the flower. Next. Okay, this is actually done by Prince Orchid. 4 year out of flask in Thailand. And this is first boom seeding. Yeah, he's a phenomenal grower. And this is the mother plant. So the interesting story about this one here is he became a surrogate mother. What does surrogate mother mean? Okay. If you want to make a hybrid, of course I'm not going to sell you the plant, but for a cost, you can take your pollen and put a seed pod on it if you take. If you didn't take, bye-bye. So this, look at this, all this seed pod. That's how we get all this hybrid. So this is actually from the surrogate mother. Okay, so I was actually the first company to import Gigantea alba into the United States about 8 years ago. And for me, the alba actually easier to grow than the regular Gigantea because the alba like to be cooler for some reason. So for me, I actually had to put it in the summertime. I put it by the fan where the fan comes the cooler. Yeah, they like it. Most people make a mistake when we think Gigantea is from Indonesia, so they must be hot and steamy. So they all try to duplicate the tropical weather. But if you've been to the jungle, they're not on the top of the canopy of the jungle tree. They're actually way down there, where it's cooler and darker. But if you want to grow Gigantea, it's actually a lot easier. Just put it indoor, under light, with air circulation. And below 85 degrees, they're okay. Next, Japonica. Okay, Japonica is another wonderful species from Indonesia. So this is the common one, the regular one we had before. Okay, this is what we're familiar with in the 80s. Okay, remember Stuart orchid in San Gabriel? Okay, well, this is what we used to see in San Gabriel, a Stuart. Okay, now, out of the jungle of Indonesia, look at all this colorful coming out. Okay. Unfortunately, dolphin is difficult. A lot of times, maybe they're not the right environment. So if you see a selfing of the Gigantea alba or the blue, buy it because they're not going to stick around and wait. Because a lot of people say, oh yeah, let's come back. But it's actually disappeared on my website right away. In the matter of, on my website, if you visit my website, I usually put a note there, say, limited. Okay, the way you look at my website, if I say limited, that means I have less than 25 plants. If I start counting, only 5 available, only 10 available, just do it. Because a lot of time, I might not be able to offer them again. Next. Couple of instances. Okay, this is interesting. This is actually quite new. Okay, this is another one from Malaysia. At first, we thought this is a natural hybrid between Gigantea and Emboliensis. Okay, and Emboliensis, but then it was disqualified because Emboliensis is from Thailand. This species is found in Malaysia. It's too far away. So it's now carried as a species by itself. And thank goodness to the artificial propagation selfing. Don't buy this, I seen them at the Tamiami show in Florida and Redland. Okay, Jungle Collective. Don't buy them because it's so difficult, especially when I've been to Malaysia with the plant out of jungle and they used to the temperature in the jungle and trying to do it and then bring it to North America is difficult. It's actually easier to raise from seed. Okay. So this is actually have a lot of potential in breeding because it have a lot of flower. It looks like a Gigantea plant D actually, but it have a lot of flower. So this is actually maybe a breeding in the future. You see the pendulum Phalaenopsis. Okay, we have pendulum Siberia. Okay, it's coming up for pendulum Phalaenopsis now. Next, Endemia. Next, another wonderful species from Indonesia again. Very similar to Phalaenopsis. Got a beautiful lip here. Endemia is if you're interested in judging program, this is the species that give you candy stripe on the Phalaenopsis and also contribute to semi-alba, white with red lip. Okay, another wonderful miniature species that beautifully wonderful for mountain. Next, Lobii. Next, this is Lobii. Original Lobii is from Nepal, foothill of Himalaya. So it's actually, for some reason, about 10, 15 years ago, got exported to a lot of Taiwan. And people do not know what to get it. So they killed it a lot, by about 100,000, because in Taipei, it's very hot. But this Lobii is from the foothill Himalaya. So this is actually a species, wonderful species to have in the Bay Area. Okay, next. So you have this new color form. And the reason you get all this new color form is because I used to be on the research and education committee. And American Orchid Society, we actually funded a fund for Russia scientists when the Vietnam is opened up. So Vietnam is closer or allied with Russia. So he was the Russian scientists were allowed to go to North Vietnam on the discover and species trip. And that's when they found it in North Vietnam. They have also Lobia. So again, when someone to Taiwan, Japan, of course, it cannot come to the United States because of psyche. Then next, there's a person named Mr. Tai. He is a hobbyist and he grew all this in the couple of his house in Taipei. He started crossing the whatever he did not kill the Malaysia, Lobia, and the Vietnamese form cross together. That's how you get all this new form. Isn't it interesting? The same species, but one is from the foothill of Himalaya and one from the North Vietnam. So, wow. So they never sell you the flask. I never understand why. And to do this program, I did interview Mr. Tai, and you know why? This is only less than 6 months of flask. It's amazing. Yeah. So can you the potential of the breeding so fast? Okay, but the Lobia, if it available, you have a better chance to go to Lobia here than me in Southern California because they're very picky for water quality. So you have good water quality, and they also take cooler temperature. So anyway, next. So when you buy Lobia, okay, this is a clone, okay. Do not discard this. It's actually even the pink one. They first open white. So instead of like yellow Phalaenopsis, they fade from yellow fade to white. No, they change color. They get darker pink as they age. Okay, I do a lot of lecture to AO judges. So you have to put that into your consideration. When you see something like this, you do not disqualify. This type of breeding is part of the gene. Okay, this is why a lot of the time the judges, if they're not familiar with the species, it all comes down to the species. Okay, you gotta know the species, and that's why I'm here to let you reintroduce the information. So this is how the yellow form and the pink form, they all start as a white and then change color. Okay, remember now, one is from Himalaya, one is from North Vietnam. So you have a gene pool of two very, very wild distribution of the species. Next. It's all the best one from Mr. Tsai's collection. Okay, he didn't need the money, so he never want to sell it, but it's nice eye candy. Next. So this is one of in the common for Lobia is called a little rabbit. The lip is actually sometimes wider than the petal. But, yeah. Next, cute micro mini Loria. Now this is one is Hugor. It's from the North Thailand of the border with Laos, and this is the form. I kill plenty of those because they don't like the hot themselves. Okay, and they're very, very picky about hybrid of the water quality. But there's a primary hybrid Loria with Poturima. It's actually a lot easier to grow. But it's a wonderful species to have. Okay, if you look for something really unique. So this is an entercat here. Okay, next. Lutemania, next. Lutemania is one point was in the 80s, they used to call this purple. Okay, but Lutemania is another wonderful species from Malaysia in distribution of the island of some island of Indonesia. But in Asia, they love the dark red form. Next, it's a summer bloomer, and it's a wonderful species to have because they will start with one plant, and then they will have keiki, the baby, from the older stem, and then the older keiki become another plant. It's a make a nice specimen, especially if you in Florida, they grow in the basket, hanging basket, or you can actually mount it. Next, they have a Suria form of the Beniana. I will have a new whole program about blue Phalaenopsis, the real blue Phalaenopsis, and the contribution is one of the species from the Dominia Sururiae. Okay, next. And this is from, we work together with Prince Orchid, and he has also had the best blue in Asia right now. Okay, Prince Orchid. Next. This is actually, and there is a yellow form of the Dominia. And actually, this is from Mr. Russ Shaw, and I asked Mr. Shaw. He said he had this in his collection for like almost 30 years. Original out of jungle, export to Taipei. He used to import a lot of orchid species to Taipei. And this is actually, but this might be the only one because the Dominia, don't think they have that many in the wild anymore, but we have never seen another yellow form. So hopefully if he sells it, we'll see the true yellow form. Okay, next. Manii, next. So Manii is a wonderful species. There's a Manii common one, it's kind of brownish color, but this is a mahogany. There's a hybrid called Phalaenopsis bronze madden. It's actually had the Manii in the background, using this color form. So this is actually another form of Manii mahogany. So you can actually, if you want, more toward the black Phalaenopsis by crossing to some of the novelty Harlequin Phalaenopsis. So this will be interesting species to have. Next, Modesta. Next, one of my favorite species. It looks like almost like Dominia, but it's much smaller. This one here, if in flower, it smells like grape soda. It's a wonderful, wonderful species to have. And it doesn't, it's not a big plant. The plant, this plant here, maybe only about this big. Yeah. So again, another wonderful species to grow under light or windowsill. Next, Parisii, another species actually very similar to Lobia, right? The only difference is, it have more narrow lip versus Lobia, and they have oval form. This is my hand, and this is flower in 1.25 inch pot. So this is, and there is a primary hybrid between Parisii and Lobia, and most of them come up with the flower shape very similar to Parisii, but it's a lot easier to grow. So this is what we say called primary hybrid. Primary hybrid is very easy to grow. You don't have to all stick to the species, but a lot of the primary hybrid, you will get the best of both parent species. Next, Phalaenopsis. Next, again from the Philippines. This is the spring flowering species from the Philippines. They have beautiful side lobe. This is the one characteristic. Okay, they do not have fragrance, but they have wonderful, very beautiful foliage. Again, another wonderful species from the Philippines. Pochurima. Used to be called Doritic Pochurima. So the next one now is Phalaenopsis. But now everything become Phalaenopsis. So Pochurima, most common one is the fuchsia color, magenta color. But now you have the porotic color form. And look at this. This is what I call four-bundle form. Because the older Pochurima, the magenta form, you usually the flower have one flower that lasts about less than a week and it drop. But this is what this kind of strength. Four-bundle, the last flower and the first flower to carry out. So this actually will be very good for breeding again. Next, Shuriana. Next, my favorite species is flowering now. And there is a one, this. The reason you don't see a lot of Shuriana, something like this, about almost 3 years out of France. Growing summer California. Any of the variegated leaves are going to be slow grower. They did not have all the chlorophyll. But for the Phalaenopsis, the spring bloomer, the variegated leaf, if you go to my website, there's a search bar called Shuriana. We have now about 8 to 10 different color forms. And now with the help from my friend from Philippines, I can now identify which island, and different island have different color form, the shape, and even the marking on the leaf. And we also have a very progressive breeding program with my good friend Prince Orchid. We actually breeding for even on the Shuriana itself. The reason we don't see a lot of Shuriana in America, but actually very expensive. They all got been exported to mainland China during the COVID because everybody stay at home. And it's spring bloomer. It's sometime probably in March. It gives you a lot of fragrance. So look at all this different colorful. This is actually in Japan. When I was at 2015 at Tokyo Orchid Show. This is in this is actually the very famous butterfly, AMAOS. But the trouble with if you have this chrome, this is actually developed in Southern California. This is a typical example is they bred, this one have AMAOS. Okay, it's beautiful, overlapping, potential point, but they lost the fragrance. Just like roses. When you buy the cut roses, now they stay, they're beautiful head, right? They lost the fragrance. And that's why the fashion is now the garden roses are better, have fragrance. So again, we're trying to reintroduce the more wild form from the Philippines. And this is a new, what we call the brush form. Okay, and this is when you grow the spirit of Shuriana into take the time to grow it. If we're gonna grow it, we reward you with a lot of flowers. Next. And this is what we call the preparata form. And I was very pleased. We actually have a line breeding of the Shuriana preparata form. And preparata form is used a lot by the German, many 50, 60 years ago, to create a lot of the what they call German pink. So a lot of the big lavender, big pink, they're actually using the preparata form. Okay, so next. And this is actually like NF1609. I'm in 16.1 NF1 2900 number now. So this is actually I actually helped make silver leaf popular. It's a nice, wonderful story. I went to visit this nursery. I haven't been there for years, and the father is not well, so I went there, and when the father never showed me this. It was on the other side. So the son, he said, "Oh yeah, my father's not well, but he told me I can show you everything." Everything? Can you show me the one in the back? I've never been there before. So he did. So I said, how come you show me this? I never see a very little leaf like this. And so many of them. He said, well, you're my father. So I said, can I talk to your father? I want to get the information. This is why the story comes. Every time there is a Philippine imported species into Taipei, everybody will go to buy plant. But he had a good eye. Everybody over by the big leaf, big chunky plant. But he had a good eye. He always have an eye for this tiny little plant. People thought, oh, it's too weak. Maybe the bottom of the barrel. So he started collecting them for the last 20 years. So this is how this. So he said, and how come that he had all this seeding, maybe about less than 100 plants? I said, how come you still have this? He said, well, yeah, but they don't grow. I said, what do you mean they don't grow? Well, these are 3 years old. I said, yeah, like because they are silver leaf. It's actually even less chlorophyll than the regular Filipino species, what we call the leopard spot. It's similar. So they have less chlorophyll. So of course they're going to grow a lot slower. And I said, well, if you let me buy all of them. And I did. And then you know how it goes. That's how I go in the island. Norman is I'm very well known in Taiwan. If Norman like it, that means they are good. It's actually now, this is actually very, very, very desirable in China also. So if you have silver leaf, I think sometimes I have it in my website. Just Shuriana, if I try to improve the vigorous of the silver leaf because the straight silver leaf itself is kind of recessive. So I'm trying to do the silver leaf onto the regular Shuriana from different regions of the Philippines, so they grow a lot faster. Okay, next. Okay, Studeriana. I need to go to Philippines. Another wonderful species from the Philippines. Look at it. Okay, this is also a spring blooming species from out of Philippines. Okay, so look at all this spot here. This is variety Sobo. This have HEC ALS. This is by far, I think, probably one of the better chrome. It doesn't have framing though, but this species contribute to what we call the French spotting on the Phalaenopsis and the lip. Okay, next. And about 20, maybe less than 20 years ago, we had this Nobilis one. At first, it's very difficult to grow because all the plant originally was out of the jungle of Philippines. But now this is all the F2 or F3, second, third generation, and they're a lot easier. The nice thing about this Nobilis form is it is smaller in size than regular white form. And very interesting, they actually flower from white, light yellow, as a flower age to yellow. And I still have some in our website, they actually in bud right now. Okay, and the wonderful leaf color pattern. Next. Tetrapolis. This is one of my specialty, Tetrapolis. You used to call speciosa, but now everything all got locked into Phalaenopsis tetrapolis. This is a species is not available to us when I was a student judge in the 80s. So during the 80s to 2000, we in America did not know anything about this particular species, but that's pretty going on in Asia. Next. It's a wonderful species to have. It is, I think, probably the best species for the novelty Phalaenopsis. Next. It's fast moving. They can flower in 2.5-inch pot, 8 to 10 months, might be less than a year out of flask, to spike. Okay, so this is and Tetrapolis is wide range from about many islands in Indonesia. Okay, so this different depending on where the island coming from, and then when the breeders start combining of different island color form, that's why you start getting to all these new color form. Tetrapolis, this is the what we call the very first clone famous called C1. This natural occurred species change color according to temperature. The cooler the temperature, the more reddish color. The hotter the temperature, the more whitish. So every year, it never on the same spot. Almost like every year you have a new orchid. Okay. And the fragrance. Okay. Next. And look at it. So again, when they start, this is done by my good friend Jiaho Huang. Okay. So Mr. Huang has a very good connection in Thailand. And back in about 10 years ago, when they started to see this Tetrapolis, Indonesia do not have a good laboratory. So they sent the CPAP, dry pot, to his friend in Thailand. So they did a flasking and it went to middle of Taiwan for Jiaho orchid. And they started mixing it together. So now you have the cerurea form and with the black color, almost a color form, a coffee form. Next. You also have green color, green form also. And yes, they do. We did breed it with Vanilla alba and made a wonderful primary hybrid. Next. Look at all these new color form. Solid red, spotted. Next. And blue form. This is naturally blue. Okay, so now they have a new color form for this. Right. It's almost like close blue. Next, they have pure alpha. And again, this is just in 2.5-inch pot with 3 4 spikes. Next. This power is very, very good, very stable, stabilized from C1. Next. Venosa. Venosa is in the background. Again, another one from the distribution of Thailand to Malaysia. Venosa is in the background of all the yellow Phalaenopsis. So this is the species, if you see, and it's a wonderful species that sequential flower. The leaf can be big, but again, La Gigantea is recessive in size, but it contributes to a wonderful, wonderful color. They come in kind of brownish color, they all come in reddish color. Okay, next. We come in green also. Next. And a very, very nice, almost reddish color. Next. Phalaenopsis. So this is the one we used to call vanilla. Okay. It is also from Malaysia, but Mentawai. Okay. It's interesting one, but remember, vanilla and Malaysia used to be a short spike, right? So this is actually from the Mentawai Island from Malaysia. Next, that have really long spike. Only the spike is actually still going, can be down here. This is the spike. This is the regular vanilla. Short. Next. And through line breeding, this is actually the indigo form, actually is done by H.P. Norton in South Carolina. So it is between about 10-15 years, he was line breeding, so he was able to get the indigo form. Next. Blue or this indigo form is very, very hard to capture. This is actually the same flower, but this is shoot under fiberglass inside the greenhouse. But this is actually taken outside with the under natural light with bright background. So because the fiberglass, they block out a lot of the UV light. So that's why if you want to take a picture of the true red, yellow, or even indigo blue, take it outside, not in the middle of the day at 12 o'clock, too bright. It will wash out all the color. Take it during the morning, very soft, gentle morning. Then you will get a true color of red, yellow, and blue. Next. This is my light reading of the indigo. Whew. Next. Another Phalaenopsis. And then this is one species when they self-pollinate, the flower, instead of fading, they become chlorophyll and they can do photosynthesis. And this is out of the same line breeding. You got some tricky before. So sometimes now we're trying to go breed some of the indigo back to the Malaysia form, trying to get more figures. But the trouble with the indigo form from H.P. Norton, it was sulfate and sulfate and sulfate. It become too line breeding. So that when the indigo first come out of the market in the late 90s, you will charge maybe $100 a seed, unborn seed, and usually has the very poor root system because it's too much inbreeding. They bred for the color, but a lot of the breeder forgot you also need to breed for bigness. Okay, this is why the early part of the hobby business company that no longer in business because there's no competition. There is no competition at the time, so they don't care because they have it. People will come and buy. So for us, I'm sort of, my background is not, I never worked for any orchid company before, thank God. So, but my background is actually ornamental horticulture, floriculture, the cut flower portion. So what they were taught me is cost per square foot, cost per square feet, the heating bill. Okay, so this is why we for now the new generation of the commercial orchid nursery, we will have to put it in consideration. And actually, it's actually better for you as a consumer, because at my nursery, I do not use fungicide for the last 20 years. Okay. How many people spray fungicide in the wild? They don't, right? But we will program in the back in the 80s in the school next, we will program to spray fungicide, pesticide, all this for the crop production. To give you a perfect example is the Celia. Okay, so the last but not the least is the Brina. Okay, so this is a wonderful species of. If you cannot sleep, I always picture this. If I cannot sleep, try to count how many balls. It's almost like DNA chromosome. Okay, next. Next. All right, next. More. YouTube channel. I started a podcast. It's now over 135. I teach class. I teach it. So you can actually subscribe on YouTube channel under Norman's Orchid. So like this coming Saturday, I will do another podcast. And then once you subscribe it, you'll get notified. Okay. Thank you.
Folks that pre-order time, gonna get them started. So buy some raffle tickets.
Yes, buy a lot of raffle tickets.
We're
Thank
gonna
you
go ahead
for
and start the show.
for the invitation.
Thank you.
And sorry I had a rush, but I'm actually on my way to San Jose. I'm flying out of San Jose tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Any questions for Norman before you leave? Online or?
I'm on Facebook, and you can always email me. Okay.
Oh, sticks. Give me sticks back.
In Southern California, our water is bad because of Colorado water. So they will pick up in the summertime, they pick up a lot of sea. You know. Yeah, I can grow beautiful jasper, but I also learned by the time summertime because I don't have our water. I can grow, but I have to use our water. But our water takes 7 gallons to make 1 gallon. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank you.
But I wanted it some more sugar, but like last time degrees, about 60% humidity. Are there types you would recommend? Because there's so many. Or should I just pick based on the flower? Okay, just a second.
Yeah, because there's a
Okay, so there's no particular one. Yeah.
They will notify you when I. I like
Yes, you got 82. I didn't don't take the thing
I'm gonna cross make
All right, so lots of people in the room tonight. Lots of flowers on the plant table. There's some winners from the AOS judging they just brought into the table. So you'll see there's two very large, what are they called? Starts with an L, Lycastes. Beautiful Lycastes, as well as the Zygopetalum back here. And I think the fourth awarded one's left already.
But these Lycastes are
Very nice.
We need something you can have. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, I needed a break. We had to get to just want to make sure he got his Uber. All right, so let's start up show and tell. We're going to start with the online. You want to do it there? All right.
I think the plan.
Yes, yes, thanks, Jeff. Want me to grab them? Like caskets. No, these were.
These were awarded. So this is Lycaste cherry. It's a pink version of that. It has a very full flower and it's very large. If you look at on the segment, it was really fill up the circle. So that's what the judges are looking for. They look for long flowers. They look for flat flowers. So if you draw a major circle or triangle, you want to fill that space as much as you could. And that's the judges standard. And it has a very low spike. It has three more coming up over here. So the flower should last here at this time. Lycaste for me is really easy. We got the AM of 83 pounds. That's good. So this is another hybrid. It has one common parent, Shohaven. This also has a Shohaven as a parent. It's called Spring Performers. I didn't speak well, actually, it was because of puppy line. It has four flowers, as you can see. The problem with Lycaste is it really blooms very easily, especially if you have a white flower. Another day, I was trying to bring that to Sonoma show. That morning, when I left at 6 o'clock in the morning, the flower was perfect. When I got to Sonoma 1.5 hour later, we got all the bronze issues and stuff. So it's really hard, especially the white flowers. But when it blooms, it's really nice. And the flower lasts for a long time, usually at 46 weeks. This Zygopetalum was the initial I received for our both from Pierre Pujo. It has 6 flowers. As you can see, you see this from the side. It's really flat. You're looking for the sepals and petals on the same plant as much as you could. And also the leaf is also on the same plant. has very nice big green flowers and very fragrant, typical of the element. And we receive an 81 point. And we have another civilian HCC of 75. It's a pastel color pendant. Has like 16 flowers or 18 flowers on one spike. Or it has two spikes. One has 18, the other one has 19 or 14. And that received HCC of 75.
Do you know the name of that civilian?
I'm sorry, I don't have a big piece of paper. I cannot cheat. Yeah. But you know, it will be posted on our website.
Thanks.
Any questions for Javed before it goes?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Something to do if you didn't notice, so Javed and the other EOS judges are judging in the room back there. Okay. So they, if you're gonna bring in plants to judge, they start at 6:30. So yeah, plants, yes.
Please bring the pen for judgment. This one looks really good. Just need like 2 or 3 more days. And if it keeps like this, the color, the shape, if press out, should be like easier.
All right.
You'll see.
How much is someone buying? Thank you.
Now,
Thanks, Javed. So since also, so. Right.
This, and then that way the people at home can see.
Oh, you want to turn off the owl?
Does that work? How can we shut? One, two, three. Okay. So now everyone at home should see what we see here.
My feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can, Mitch, are you still there? Can you hear?
Can anyone online hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Diane said, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So Vince, over here, Vince, get your martyr, he brought in 2 really nice, orange flowering plants with really nice displays. So I think first is this, that's the really, Copper Angel. Is it Cooper or Pop? Anyway, Copper Angel. Really nice display of this beautiful large plant. As well as this Trick or Treat by Laughing something boy from Sunset Valley. Here. Oh yeah, you can see them from there. That's cool. And then the next 3 are mine. Japheth already pointed out, I almost didn't bring this in because it wasn't fully open, but it's a beautiful, deep, consistent color, but it's a little early. This has been blooming, and that's Fritz Schomburg, right? This is a terrestrial. This is what's it called? Promenia area sunlight, and it's been blooming for like months. It just keeps blooming. And then the Dracula, I have a better picture in the slides that you'll see, but it was actually wide open when we brought it and then it got all droopy like they do. So Draculas just can't travel well. And that's marsupialis. Then Justin, who I saw right second row. So what you got here? Dendrobium.
Watch out for the path, the right.
I can't read it on the back.
Oh,
Oh, it's right here.
Strong.
There you go. Thank you, Justin. And Mel, sitting right next to him over here, brought in half Delanatii, and it's fragrant. Can you smell it on the phone? No.
grapes.
Smell of vision.
Scratch and sniff. And then Fred's Frags. All right. So this is Frag.
That's not the right name.
Okay, it's a frag,
Just a frag.
just a frag. And another frag.
That one has a name.
That one is Living Fire. The orangey. one.
That one was, I had on display at the orchid show. That thing's been on bloom forever. It keeps blooming.
All right, and that next one, this is beautiful, Jan. This, the details, you didn't get up close to, I guess he's getting a nice picture of this thing. Tiny little dots. So this is Phale speciosa by Phale clustris. Blue forms.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, come look at it up close. It's really intricate, nice detail. That's SLC Sierra gem by Potenera Starfire. Also from Jan, as well as this really interesting
Wow, that's
bulbophyllum,
beautiful.
bulbophyllum red rage. And it's even better in person. And then Jan also brings in this Maxillaria striata.
Last year had 4 flowers, this year only gave me 1. But it's funky, you have to go and look at the left flowers.
And then Derek is giving himself a scopic flowers. There's a Stella species. It's really interesting. It's like little tiny orange flower.
Yeah, in a way.
Again, if you get up close and look, you have magnifying glass glasses, and then this is a little also Stella's.
Orangus,
that-
this is Orangus, that's still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rangus is the one I was. And then, yeah, this is what's it called?
Glossoglossum?
Rodden Jester. Yeah, it's a Rossuglossum Rodden Jester. I think it's also was called. Probably C, but it's called that. And then Sharon.
Oh, Sharon.
Sharon brought in a Phil Schilleriana.
That's smell.
Beautiful silvery leaves. And then she
Oh, there is a scent.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And then she also brought in a terrestrial. I can't pronounce, what is it? Anara. Kyla salmonensis. It's a jewel orchid,
Yeah.
terrestrial orchid. And then this is a really nice specimen of a Dendrobium speciosum from Polishoe. Whoa.
Holly, you're gonna have to hold your plant.
About the cymbidium. I gotta talk about this.
All right, Paula, come on up here.
Okay, I found the cymbidium in the collection of Musia stag. Look what it's growing in. The cross. I didn't know what Steve Tide did with the pollen that I gave him of my plant. I only give my pollen to Steve Tide. He crossed Cleo's Melody, and this is the result. So this is Bill Gastiapi, which is my plant. Nobody else has it. And a Peloric. which is oddly not caloric, but it super looks like it's pollen parent.
Hold it lower so I can get it out of the light.
Sorry.
There you go. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
So imagine what it's gonna do when it gets in a regular sized pot. God. Okay. And this is just a Fred Clark hybrid that they take forever to, I bought these seedlings years ago and each year gets better and better. So you have to keep them for years for them to reach their full potential.
You talk about this one?
Yeah.
This is from Musea's collection also. The color on this is fantastic this year. Really amazing. And the cross, I believe, is Mimi by Canaliculatum. I don't know if it's the Sparksy eye or not, but the color, and the strange thing is, you know, Canaliculatum is not an upright grower, right? This spike grew straight up by itself. So, nice.
And last but not least on the flag table, Dan brought in Masdevallia Fabris Empress, HECAOS, incredible color.
Yeah.
Very nice table. Show until I can. Got it. Echo.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, Diane, can you hear me?
Diane's right behind you. She's in the room. I mean, Phyllis. There's a test, I was testing.
Okay. I don't see that the audio is picking me up. Diane, did you say you could hear me?
Anyone? Anyone online? Can you hear?
Yes, yes, we can hear. I just had to unmute in order to be able to tell you that. Okay.
Thank you. It is being recorded, so. So Phyllis, no tags, but beautiful.
Oh, great.
Way back. Some sort of like Ranko-Lely or something.
Yeah. I think that was still a screen time is what that was.
And a dot blossom.
Valerie's in the room here. Right up front. So. Let's see. She got that from a plant label, so. The Dendrobium spectaculars, again, it's very interesting to see gorgeous flowers. Heavily scented.
Yeah.
And she mentions the winter rest, so if you don't know this, some dendrobiums, to really give you maximum flowering, you have to cut the watering back a little bit more. From like Halloween to Valentine's Day. Judy Zoo. And Dale sent in a slew of really nice pictures. And he points out here that he changed the way he grows his Phalaenopsis to putting them in stagnant net pots, but on the sides. He was having trouble with them. Getting the crown rods in the water in the center. There's a group of photos. So this is the overall, like his bunch of them. Then he has some individuals after this. So close-ups. For those who don't know Dale, it's up in the North Bay. He often is best known actually for bringing in paths with really long little sepals. So Pollinators are here. So they're always here. They have this growing in the back, blooming in the backyard, or no, greenhouse in the backyard, right?
You want this last month? That's only a year.
This is a jewel orchid, terrestrial Lutetia plant. And there's another big show there, Dendrobium delicata. It lives in the Panhandle area of San Francisco, so there's lots of good stuff there. And yeah, nice showing. And if you don't know this, Dendrobium has funky, thick, succulent-looking leaves that look like kind of tongues with deep grooves. This finally, the flower finally came off today. It's been blooming for like a month or so, and it was fragrant, kind of like a sweet nectar fragrance and a pale. It was supposed to be an alpha form, but it was kind of a pale pink. And then this I got off a plant table a couple of years ago from Fred Clark. And this is what this looks like. This one. It's a little funky face, the Dracula. Sean's here, there, right there. And then beautiful display of mountain colors. Is that Beachiana? Yeah, so Beachianas have like kind of a purpley fuzz. And you see it in person, it's like orange with kind of a orange hue that's actually, if you look closely, their hair is on the surface. I've heard the photograph. The philosophy, usually fragrant too. Like Phyllis has a friend who's picture for her. That's a local terrestrial orchid, Calypso orchid, rose. Yeah. Any questions? Other comments? So at the end of the slide, at the very end, the two slides, actually they're handout out. Keep going through the slides.
That's all I've got.
That's all that's there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, one was I'm on the board of Orchid Digest, and I'm trying to get people to check it out and become members, subscribe. More people to participate, and if you don't know Orchid Digest, certainly check it out. What's the one after? Is there one after this?
I have an offer.
And then
I have an offer at Orchid Digest. I will personally buy your Orchid Digest back at the end of the year if you don't like it. So if you subscribe to Orchid Digest, you take it for a year, and you don't like it, I will refund your money, you'll bring me the digest. So it's no lose. If you don't like it, I give your money back, just bring me the Orchid Digest magazine.
So they're really known for the beautiful photography.
It is incredible.
If you haven't seen the magazine, they really do support like professional photographers and people that do really high quality photography. So trying to keep it going. And then the other thing, I know you're sick of QR codes, but there's another handout over there. I get questions about like ways to keep track of your market. So once you've got more than 20 or 30 of them, you start rebuying. Say, I felt like, oh, do I already have this? Did I kill it? So I've tried different methods, from like writing on the tags, which is still do, of course, but spreadsheets and trying to keep track. But this Airtable app, if you've never tried it, It works on every platform. You can put it on your phone, and that way when you're in there, like repotting or testing something or shopping, you can pull all that information up, and it's a database. You can actually go in and move things around, or it's easy to change it. You can even attach photos or even video. So you can take pictures of the leaves and the flowers. So I really like it. I'm not getting anything from it, but like just pointing out that it's worth checking out. So, and then at the last, oh, and then we're going to start the raffle. So it's 9 o'clock. And then just want to remind people, if you bring food, and wear your name tag, and what's the third thing? Bring a plant for the show table. Each of those things gives you another chance at winning plants. So you can ask at the front desk if you do any of those things, they should give you a ticket. So the blue tickets for wearing your name tags, and if you brought in show and tell, there was the basket he just did. Bring food, let them know.
Only pick one of the Dunkin' Donuts.
All right, enough of me talking.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, drawings.